Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm your presenter Mervin. Thank you for joining us. Coming up, teachers called to be watchdogs of the profession. The government-aided college students urged to take studies seriously, and OECS integration taken to primary school classrooms. Stay with us for details of these stories and others after the break.
If you can believe this,
come by my house and let me show you some movies.
why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. Students receiving government assistance by the way of tuition fee payments to attend the Dominica State College have been told that they must maintain a 2.5 GPA in any given semester to guarantee continued assistance from government. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Scary says students should not become complacent into thinking that tuition fees will be paid by the government of Dominica despite academic performance. The Prime Minister emphasized that point when he addressed a forum in Dubla earlier this week.
But I want to say to those of you who attend the State College that the government assistance going forward is contingent on how well you do. Because we don't want to be paying tuition fees for you and your parents having to find money to give you bus fare and snacks, and you are relying on outside KFC or outside the new structures at the State College. And with all these smartphones and Blackberries and tablets and so forth, I do not want to be out of class playing rather than being in school. And therefore, when you go to the college, the condition the government is setting on providing you with a scholarship to attend the State College is that you have to maintain a minimum of 2.5 GPA on any given semester. And 2.5, you tell me, I mean, you really have to be playing the fool at school not to maintain a 2.5 GPA, okay? So it is not difficult to achieve. The only way you will not achieve it is if you form the fool at school. And while we have more opportunities now than we had before, it's important for us to take advantage of it.
On Tuesday, Prime Minister Scarrett presented a check of $100,000 to the president of the Dominica State College, which will contribute to a financial aid program at the college. The fund will be used for the payment of tuition fee for students who are unable to afford and will be managed by the college on behalf of the Ministry of Education and the government of Dominica. In more news, Education Minister Honorable Peter Seja has called on the island's teachers to be watchdogs of the profession. The minister made the call when he addressed a teachers' solidarity rally organized by the Dominica Association of Teachers at the Cabrits in Portsmouth earlier this month.
In order to ensure that the profession is highly valued, teachers must constantly exhibit high ethical, moral, and professional values. You must keep abreast with the cutting-edge knowledge in the field of education. You must be role models within your schools and indeed within your communities. You must constantly defend and demonstrate support for each other, your very colleagues.
The Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development has recognized the importance of teachers' professional growth and its impact on learning. As such, the Education Minister has appealed to the nation's teachers to take advantage of opportunities for professional training and development.
Too often, we are confronted with teachers who will just not seek to further develop themselves. I need to re-emphasize the importance of professional growth and development in shaping the work and the output of teachers. With uncertainty in economies, in a fast-paced technological world, The need to keep abreast with new developments within the field of education has become even more critical.
The minister reminded the island's teachers that over the years, the government of Dominica, through the Ministry of Education, has actively supported the work of teachers by making available the necessary funding and access to teacher training.
The Ministry of Education has increased access to in-service teacher training through sustained partnership with the Dominica Association of Teachers in its summer professional development programs. The Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development continues to provide teacher training through local teacher workshops and classroom supervision and support initiatives which facilitate focus on the teaching learning process, thus making teaching much more manageable.
The Education Minister indicated that more than 80% of the island's teachers who are currently being trained receive funding from the government for the studies locally, regionally and internationally. The Teachers' Day rally was held in Portsmouth under the theme Teachers Take the Lead for Quality Education. The Teachers' Rally formed part of local activities to observe World Teachers' Day 2013. In more news, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has responded to recent calls for the decriminalization of marijuana. The Dominica leader, during a brief address at a special service on Sunday in observance of the Capuchin Village Feast, said that it is important that those who recommend these actions consider its implications.
I know there have been calls about decriminalization of certain drugs, but before we make those calls, we have to study the implications of those calls. And what it will mean for the wider society. If we say that it is okay to go to any pharmacy or any restaurant and bar or disco and you can buy as much as marijuana you wish, then that's a matter for those who are proposing it. But we must think very carefully about those calls. It might be a fancy thing, quote unquote, to do these days, to speak about these things, but we have to look at the implications, the consequences of those things. Let us continue to remain positive. Dominica needs positive people.
Young people in the Petit Savan community were acknowledged by the Prime Minister for their contribution to the organization of the launching of the 2014 T-Savan reunion. Prime Minister Skerrit says young people ought to be recognized for their positive input. Often, he says, the negative receive more attention than the positive.
I also want to commend the young people, the many young people who have seen, dressed in the orange, playing their part, moving around, organizing. Because, as Dr. Dara said, oftentimes we criticize young people, but we fail to pay attention to the positive things that they're doing. Young people are involved in many, many constructive things across Dominica, and we fail to pay attention to that. So I would like to recognize in a very special way the young people who have come forward and taken responsibility to organize this important reunion.
Throughout the community this past weekend, the youth rallied together to ensure that all aspects of the launching ran smoothly. Even the smaller children from the community played their part as they modeled Creole wear created by local seamstress Vernie Moise. Parliamentary representative for Petit Savan, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, says he too is proud of the young people of his constituency.
Special mention must also be made of our young people, namely Miss Joseph and Miss Moise, who ensured that the young people were mobilized, and you can see them out today. They come out in a large numbers today. So we need to commend them. Those who came forward to volunteer and to assist, especially our young men. We see quite a few of them today looking smart. And especially in these times, when we hear so much negativity about our young people, especially our young men, I think that this augurs well for the present and future of the Petite Servant community. As your parliamentary representative, let me just say how very proud I am of each and every one of you. And I rest assured that the future of Petite Servant is in good hands.
An acre of land which could be used for a youth agricultural project is one suggestion that the newly installed president of the National Youth Council of Dominica is hoping will receive support from government. Josiah Benoit made the suggestion during his maiden speech as president of the National Youth Council.
We are saying if the NYC were to be a portion, an acre of land, we can discuss the details as per on what terms it will be made available, but just picture and share the vision that we had access to that land. We could work an acre of land, get into agriculture, which is something we speak so fondly of, yet we never demonstrate. I think that from the meetings we have been having so far, the council members are very much motivated and willing, if we get access to such an acreage, to do some farming there to generate revenue. And it's a start. I think it's actually even one of the most feasible enterprises that we can enter into, because we do have a food importation problem in terms of our food import bill. So we also want to explore the opportunity of having some land for the council, which we can use to generate resources and hopefully eventually establish our headquarters on, once again in a more sustainable manner.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole, non moins c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, ministre agriculture qui continue et puis programme spray pour empêcher et puis combattre Black Sigatoka. Parole celle-là sorti officier quarantine, ministre agriculture Ryan Ansem. Ansem aussi fait parole qui UK fait distribution plan figue et puis banane qui ça résister maladie là bas habitants.
Programme ça là, ça nous allons faire. Comme vous savez, à Dominique, il y a différentes manières de cultiver figues et bananes. Il y a des gens qui ont fait commercial, il y a des gens qui ont fait en lacouyo, il y a des gens qui ont fait petit plot à des bords cailloux. Et nous passons à la lacouyo, et petit plot ça là pour spray. So ça nous allons faire, c'est banane air fixe là qui résistante au Black Sigatoka. Nous allons bas moun qui ça planté en backyard yo ça planté bocaille pour yo manger. Avec programme là c'est pour garder comment nous ça sustain figue et banane, parce que comme ça Black Sigatoka qui détruit figue là so pas mettre mise en place. So programme ça là même c'est un bon programme, et nous pour garder comment nous ça mener d'autres variétés qui résistent à Black Sigatoka, qui ça nous a voué l'Angleterre, et voué en place continue de Barbados. Et nous les trois avec mon con Cardi, mon con Aika FAO pour nous garder comment nous ça mener ces variétés ça là. Et il y a une variété ça en Jamaica, il y a une variété ça là en Costa Rica. Et nous les mener des trois variétés pour tout le monde commercial. Mon backyard avec tout le monde taper ces variétés ça pour nous garder comment nous ça maner Black Sigatoka.
En notre nouvelle, département environ que simé divers chemicals en ville Roseau, a de manière combattre maladie qui ouate ça la causionner. Parole celle-là sorti au chef département Anthony Scotland.
Roseau ça en place, nous avons toujours try manager ouate dans la ville ça. Puis nous avons dit nous qui leptospirosis qui ouate si marié à place là, et bien nous pour chaîne, si vous chaîne place là net, vous pouvez what, mais depuis au place ni manger, il y a pile warehouses, il y a pile monde qui a fait manger, et bien si vous avez quitté manger tout partout, ou vous avez plus what, so nous les what bait, ça qui est mettez poison tout partout au pour tuer what. Also nous avons que fog roseau, nous avons servi une machine qui a voyé en la fumée pour tuer maïgouin. Puis nous avons disease aussi qui est dengue fever, qui sont des diseases nous avons try avoid à Dominica.
Moun qui intéressé à exporter wildlife supposé taper en licence spécialement pour saison indépendante. Parole Salah sorti officier Fowe, M. Stephen Durand.
Moun qui est intéressant, car l'autre pays, ils les voyaient bêtes sauvages. L'autre pays, ils ont besoin de permis. Permis ça a coûté $10 et permis qui ont trouvé permis ça en division Fowe, en office division Fowe, en Ozo. Ok, so moun qui les voyaient sauvages, bêtes sauvages, l'autre pays et qui a voyagé et ils les mené bêtes sauvages, l'autre pays et puis yo besoin un permis qui a coûté $10 et permis ça ou que trouver permis en office director forestry ça est main office division Fowe en Ozo.
Et puis finalement Red Cross Dominica a collaboré et puis Festival Comité Dominique One Service Medical pendant Festival Creole Mondial. Chef département Red Cross Kathleen Pinat Burn fait parole ça pendant conférence média plus bonne semaine ça. Officier la place Festival Comité Dominique Leroy Walico Charles fait parole qui ça même très important.
N'importe temps on y a pile monde comme ça à la place ou supposé ni red ça important ou pas dire il y a une orbite mais on pour faire préparation pour à tout cas une orbite ça c'est pourquoi il est important pour les red cross là parce que là on y a pile monde monde là à la place il sert pour prendre certaines décisions pour ne tout le monde assaut en route les monde qui sont confortable et ça c'est pourquoi il était important pour nous les red cross là et red cross toujours là tous les années nous festival.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nous faire la Creole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans, and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Mervin. Have a great weekend.